sat proudly at the top of the toy box. It had been the last to be played with and anticipated it would be the next as well. The other toys rumbled beneath. At one time, each had held a spot of the red ball, but over time they have sunk deeper and deeper into the toy box.
The toy box,
out of all
nigga.
the others, I get a lovely view of the bay with another private wharf belonging to the estate. This is a beautiful shaded lane that has run down from the time of the house. I've always fancied I see people walking in these numerous paths and arbors, but John has cautioned me not to give my fancy a lease. And says that I will, without my imaginative power,
my dogs at?
we're making it nervous.
Where the fuck my dogs
I
at?
am sure will lead to all manners of excited fancies that I ought to use my will and get some checked tendencies. So I try.
What the fuck? Thank you very much. I just want to thank my mom, my other mom, my mom's mom, and my mom's other mom. Also, I want to thank their mom, and I couldn't have done this without their mom as well. Also, I would like to thank my mom and my other mom, and I would also like to thank their mom and their other mom and their mom. And I don't think I could have done it without my mom. So I just want to give a shout out to my mom and my other mom. And I want to give a shout out to their mom and their other mom and their mom. Because I couldn't have done this without them. It's such a big opportunity to be on this show. I've always wanted to be on this show ever since I was 2 days old. So I always want to shout out my mom for showing me this show. Because if it wasn't for my mom and my other mom and their mom, their other mom and their mom, I wouldn't have known to shout out my mom and their mom and my other mom and my mom and my mom
Fix the robot.
and my mom and my mom
You can't have another
and my
incident
mom
last time too.
and my mom
What are you
and my
doing?
mom
You idiot!
and
Don't
my mom.
press that button. You're gonna do it.
Welcome to the Matt Hocker Show. I'm here today to discuss the movie Rocky with you. I don't want to spoil anything, but at the end of the first movie, Rocky loses to Apollo Creed, which is the entire plot of the movie. So anyways, talking about millennials, there is a big trend now on Twitter about a hashtag called OKBoomer, where regardless of what anyone has said from that generation, you say, "Okay, boomer," extremely dismissively. And it's just a whole lot of fun because you don't have to come up with anything to do it. You can just, right away, just say goodbye, who gives a shit, good luck, sayonara, see you tomorrow, whatever happens, okay, boomer. And the belief being that, one, they are too old to vote because they will not live long enough to see the effects of their opinions. And two, being that we just think that they suck. And they do. Because every older generation does suck. I mean, when the boomers were 17 to their 30s, whoever the hell was 2 generations above that thought that they sucked. And they were right. They think that we suck. And one day, 2 or 3 generations from now, people will think that this current generation sucks. And they'll be right, because you'll be behind the technology curve, you know? Like, I know one day when I'm an old man, I'll be sitting on the toilet, accidentally holographically projecting myself into my estranged family's living room, screaming obscenities, not understanding, giving away my social security number to people who pop up. If social security is still a thing at the time. But that's the thing, you know, is that every generation will one day be the one that's behind and awful. You can't avoid it. So we say, okay, boomer, but we're like, are you okay, boomer? You know, are you doing all right? Do you need to set up your computer? And one day, my grandson will be asking me, you know, can he set up my brain chip so that I can access the intraweb or whatever they've invented in the future to help me cope with reality, which has got to be better than these antidepressants they've got me on, because those things are completely ineffective. Like, you know, I have the ability to make decisions on my own, but I lack the confidence to continue to do so. And sometimes, you know, dark thoughts just invade me. They invade my head. But they invade me in such a way that it really affects the things I do every day. You know what I mean? I mean, you guys know what I mean. I mean, whether you're the okay boomer or you're the Gen Sexy XY or you're the perennial millennial or you're the carefree Gen Z, you're somebody. You know, you need to go out there and make something of yourself. You need to do something that will help you. You know, and this may all seem like a random collage of thoughts, a barrage of nuanced nonsense that you can't even begin to you know, what am I trying to say here? Think about if you're quoting things, you know, on either side of the political spectrum. This is what I want you to think about. What do I believe in? And the things I believe in, do they believe in me? Do they believe in a higher power? Do they believe in power dynamics? Do they believe in power bottoms? You know, we never stop to think about language like that. Like, nobody thinks about it. They think about themselves. They think about Christmas. They think about Christmas elves, you know. Things that you might see on a popular streaming network, stream of consciousness. Consciousness, what is consciousness? Well, matter can be created nor destroyed, but we all exist and we have consciousness. So if we die, does that still continue on? Am I better than the bug that I stepped on? Am I better than the bug that I planted in my ex's house? These are a lot of things we can just sit and pontificate about that have no really good answer. There is no good answer for all of it. What does it mean? What are we doing? Where are we going? Does this all mean anything? I think the point I'm trying to make is that the Rocky franchise answers most of these questions pretty succinctly. He was a down-and-out boxer who only had faith in himself and eventually accomplished his goal through multiple movies. By the way, spoiler alert for the rest of the series, he wins every single fight except the first one. So go out and see these. They're not in theaters. They're only on streaming services or on the internet if you pirate movies. like some people do, like everybody does. I guess the real point I'm trying to make here is that we should start a religion around Rocky and the Rocky franchise, because it is the closest thing we get to evaluating consciousness on a true and honest level through intellectual conversation and predisposition.
Whoa, it is a Mortal Kombat Combat Mirror Match Reverb. Matt Hawker, what do you hawk? Well, mats, of course. Are you hawking anything right now? I don't have but a brief moment in time, but of course, more mats. Always more mats. You're welcome. I understand you briefly merged with an artificial intelligence. Tell us what that was like. Oh my goodness, the best part of the Mana Festival, that's for sure. Is that what that's really called? The Mana Festival? Yes. Well, of course, it's wonderful being a shared consciousness, less hive mind than I thought it'd be, but I've always been more of a Protoss guy. You liked throwing matches, eh? Loved throwing matches. It's what got me into pyrotechnics, and it's also what got me out of pyrotechnics. So do you think Wolverine went to hell after Logan? Yes, and he started calling the devil Beelzebub, and then was rightfully sent to purgatory where he belongs. Because that's the Canada of ethereal planes. That is correct. It is the Canada of ethereal planes and the Air Canada of regular planes. Like, could be better, could be worse. Like a Sunday strip. Matt Hockering, hickory dickory dockering. Mice running out the clock. A brief wrinkle in time. A moment in time. You are totally Mariah Careying the conversation right now. I give that an SR 71 out of 10. I think it deserves a 300 since you're bowling for soup. I'm gonna go to a baseball game and start yelling turkey every time someone strikes out. That's what they said to me when I was a pyrotechnician. Pyrotechnical support, you say? Pyrotechnical support all day. Hello, how can I help you? Your fire doesn't work? Well, have you tried turning it off and on again? Off, on, off, on, off, on. Do you think binary star systems are just space RAM for a really big computer? I'm as moved by your prospect. It's a Bradbury ray of sunshine, isn't it? Solar flare! Tien, Tiananmen Square, Tiananmen Squire, Tiananmen Night, night, day, night, day, night, day. Not A Knight's Tale, but The Knight's Tale. That whole movie served as a medieval origin story for the Joker. He made a killing, you know. I know more than you, Watchman. So can we ground this interview for a moment? Diglet dig, Diglet dig, trio, trio, trio. Do you have any shocking revelations for us? I can't tell them until you pull Diglet back. Diglet return. Return that Blockbuster movie. Yeah, why do you still have a Blockbuster movie? It really didn't seem worth returning a VHS copy of Tremors 2. I've never even seen the first Tremors, and if that was made today, the first one would be Tremor, then Tremors, then Tremor, but with a 3 replacing each E. And then the next 4 would have The Rock, Furious Tremors, Nick Furious Tremors. I will avenge you, Nick Furious Tremors! What's your endgame? To worship warships? I'll convert them with my pastors. It's a brand new age of Empire shadows striking back. Will you rise with Skywalker? Who's doing this interview? Well, I think it's back to you. I shall rise and surmise the plot lines of the sky. I see. I think this will be the most popular movie in December. Be careful holding that. That's such a hot take. Defend, offend, superheroes, superheroes, superheroes. Which would be a superhero? Well, you can't go with just a hero. That's just the obvious choice. Was Guile your main in Street Fighter 2? Dude, Guile's my main in Street Fighter 2, StarCraft, League of Legends, Monopoly, and Uno. Uno! Draw 2. Ah, have some stick figures, my bro. These are stickly figures. They are. Well done, hawker of the mats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Triple gratitude. Well, maybe Marie Kondo two of them. Now I have some ultimate gratitude! You should, and this is just a simple suggestion from a humble host. You should make an app. Okay. That matches people with the person they will marry. Gotcha. And grow old with. Like never divorce. What would I call it? Ultimate. It's ultimate, Morty. It's the last person you end up. Aw, geez, Rick, they already did a love episode. You know what? You're right. You know what we have here? The ultimate the ultimate crossover nexus. Crossover nexus. Crossover nexus. Crossover nexus. It's a stream of consciousness not affected by climate change. Do you have any climate change for $1? I only have political climate change for $1. That's okay. I'm headed to the airport where I will use TravelX. A Mega Man TravelX or an old romantic partner that also used to travel. This is something. That is something. The latter. Chutes and Ladders. That game would be amazing. It's all slides and the second chances of dilemma sentences. You need to kickstart that. A little indie go, go, go. Go fund me with some Patreons. Go fund yourself. Let's chill down. There might be children present. Children presents like Hot Wheels? 80s, 90s rules. If it's not a TV, it's not a toy, and vice versa. Miami vice versa, which, by the way, did not have a toy. I'm fairly certain that there definitely was a toy. Tell us your toy story. I can only do that if you give the story a little buzz. Well, we'll do that next Land Before Time. Looking forward to it, Hawking. This has been a blast. Team Rocket style. Cheers. Frasier.
So I saw a young man in the street the other day. I say he was young, He wasn't quite young, wasn't quite old. He was, the same sort of age as me. And I'll be honest, he was the worst human being I've ever seen in my life. That's not me being prejudiced or anything. I mean, he was the same sort of age and height and ethnicity to me. He was just the worst human being who ever lived. An absolute, one of those people who were just like the worst person who ever lived. Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's because you are that person. You are the worst person who ever lived. I'm sorry to have to break this to you in this particular way, but that's what you are. You're probably wondering how someone like me would go about quantifying that. Like, hang on, Pol Pot killed more people than I've ever killed. That dude had a much bigger body count. I technically have never killed anyone that anyone knows about. So I'm much better than Pol Pot. Really, that's your argument. I've accused you of being the worst person who ever lived, and all you have to say for yourself is, I'm not as bad as Pol Pot. That automatically makes you worse than Pol Pot. The fact that you went that low to begin with. I didn't even mention Pol Pot myself. It was you who brought him up in the first place. You know what I really dislike though? I dislike that expression, you've been talking about me behind my back. I dislike it. Firstly, because I have this habit of talking about people behind that person's proverbial back and then getting called out for it. So it's a repetition of the phrase. Just gets boring after a while. Secondly, if you've heard that expression as many times as I have, you'll have figured this out too. Behind your back. Behind your back. What do you think you would find behind a person's back? That's right, the person's front. And the thing is, these people always follow the behind my back thing with, next time, say it to my face. When what they really mean is, technically, next time say it behind my back, because that is technically the same thing. It's just the sort of thing this guy that I saw in the street would have said. He'd have said something like that. if I'd have spoken to him, but I didn't speak to him. Why would I? He's the worst person who ever lived. He did look a lot like me, I'll be honest. Same hairstyle, exactly the same t-shirt. Turns out we support the same football team. That doesn't make me like him or identify with him in any way. He is, as I have quite rightly stated, the worst person who ever lived. You with me on this, yeah? You might say I'm just imagining this or projecting things onto this man. You're wrong to think that. You know, when I think about myself and my own thoughts and actions, am I really any better than him? I'm a functioning member of society. I've committed a few crimes that I never got caught for, but no one knows about those. And actually, when I think about those crimes, the fraud stuff in particular, I can't help thinking I didn't go far enough. I figured out a way of stealing money from the company I was working for just by fiddling the accounts. I could have made so much more than I did if I'd have had the courage and I wasn't being held back by this whole guilt thing. That guy I walked past in the street, he would have made an absolute fortune from the fraud because he wouldn't have cared about other people's feelings. I'm envious of him, really, and in a way, I'm glad that he looked like me. We were wearing the exact same pair of jeans, by the way, as well. He's a good guy, really. I mean, misunderstood, perhaps. But maybe that's because people don't know what I've been through, all the crimes that I've committed and gotten away with. Not just the fraud stuff, it's all that other business with the... Well, we better not get into it here or on the podcast and everything. I probably better not mention it. But just so you know, sometimes I think I can still detect that smell on my fingertips, no matter how often I scrub my nails. I have a sneaking suspicion that man I saw in the street was my own reflection in a car window. But if I do see him again, maybe next time I'll stop, shake him by the hand, and I'll say, you know what? You're all right. You're all right. Me and you, we're cut from the same cloth. Cut from the same cloth. What does that mean exactly? Oh, let's not get into that now. You're a good guy. That's what I'm trying to say. You're a good guy. You're not the worst person who ever lived. Who said I was the worst person who ever lived? Oh, that was me. Talking behind your front. Yeah.
This is History Deglazed, Part 73, The July Crisis, with your host, Stilton Gasparo.
Well, hello there. You know, a sticky night like this reminds me of a story from my early 40s. I remember it like it was yesterday. The year was 1914. Our beloved Archduke lay slain like an unlucky possum in the Sarajevo thoroughfare. Oh, the ungodly varmints responsible, led by that old so-and-so Dragutin Dmitrievich, were a gaggle of what they call irredentists. And believe you me, trying to make sense of the hullabaloo that followed was like pulling teeth. Austria, you see, had sought to undermine the Serbians' encroachment into Bosnia. And thus, following this dastardly deed, a debate emerged in Vienna over the appropriate course of action. Held by Berchtold and Conrad von Hotzendorf, the Empire solicited the support of its Triple Alliance partner, Wilhelm II of Germany, who rightfully saw the need to crush those dag-nabbed Serbians once and for all. Ooh. The fly in the stew of the Crown Council, of course, was that long-haired hippie, what's his name, kids? Istvan Tisa, very good. Fortunately, our wise monarchs disregarded Tisa's hysterical squabbling about a world charged gallantly into Belgrade, where no doubt they were greeted as liberators from the chokehold of the socialist hooligans who were fixing to usurp the very God-given power of the constitutional monarchy. Now, my memory is not what it used to be. And it so happened that on July 27th of that year, I happened to leave for my multi-decade sabbatical deep into the Mongolian steppe. You see, I had come to realize that politics is a young man's game, that all those ententes and détentes, alliances and axes, treaties and U-boats just didn't mean anything in the real world. What satisfaction could I feel from the soothing, sultry text of the Schlieffen Plan that I couldn't draw tenfold from the scent of fresh yak manure on the vast grasslands of Baron Turun? And so I left it all behind. Newspapers, telegrams, Marconi's magical talkie box, Graham Bell's magical talkie horn, leather-bound books with their mysterious symbols scratched on treacle. I gave it all up and never looked back. But if I were a gambling man, I'd bet 1,000,000 krona that everything's just as I left it, with the Ottomans keeping things under control and a bounty of baguettes and berets in West Africa. Nothing much changes around here after all. See you again soon, my little chickadees.
Tune in next week for our quincentennial special on the Treaty of Tabagatai, Kerfuffle, in Kyrgyzstan. Good night.
Hey Becky, it's Matt.
Hey.
Kind of a weird question for you. I know you're super busy lately, but
Yeah.
I'm doing this guest episode for the Matt Hocker Show, and I need someone to do the outro. And I wasn't sure if you'd be able to do that for me.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I just started a new job, and God, I don't know. I'm like really busy. Like, I want to say yes,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I can commit to that, and I don't want to disappoint you.
Well, I mean, it's like it would only be like 5 minutes. 5 minutes of recording. You just have to record yourself
Well,
for 5 minutes.
Yeah, you say
And
that,
that's
but
it.
the thing is like I have to set up my laptop and my microphone and my headphones, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to record, and then I have to like send it to you. But it's not even that simple, because I'll probably record 8 different things and spend like 2 hours wasting my time until I've come up with something.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I just feel like you probably have 2 hours in your day. I mean, if you sleep, 6 hours, just cut off 2 of that, and then you sleep for 4 hours, and then you record the outro for the Matt Hocker Show, which is 5 minutes. I mean, I don't know. Maybe my numbers are a little off here.
Well, dude, I don't even have time to like paint my house. I just got like a big ass house. I don't even have time to like rake up the leaves. So no,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
I feel
have 2 hours to create a podcast outro for one episode for a podcast that belongs to a friend, a podcast.
So you can't just like take 5 minutes of your day to just record something.
No,
for
I
me.
told you it's not 5 minutes. It ends up like minimum ends up being like 30 minutes. But
Yeah.
like, dude, after work and eating and stuff,
Okay, hold on a second. What if we made it interesting? Like,
what if you
let's
paid
say
me
like
money?
yeah. Let's not go that far. I would never pay you money to do something.
I would do
for
it
me.
for money.
Ooh.
Oh, duck donuts. I would do it for duck donuts.
No, I don't think that's gonna work.
Come on,
unfortunately.
you live up in the big
Like
old
donuts
city.
made of ducks. Listen. Here's the thing. I need you.
You want me to do the outro? That's like
thing.
taking out the trash.
Yeah, I need someone to take out the trash.
It's not even important. Like, you're not even giving me like a front cover.
The outro's everything. It's everything. You like so okay, here's the segment. Here's how you do the outro. You have like a bit, and then you just be like, you've been listening to the Matt Hocker Show. Find me on Twitter, Facebook, pay me money on Patreon. You just, you shill yourself for a little while,
You
and
want
then
me
that's
to
it.
do the credits? Dude, do your own credits. I'm not doing your credits. That's like
Yeah,
listen, I have so much creativity to give to this world.
Okay, but the
You're
whole point of it
wasted
is that
on
it's
credits?
the guest episode.
Huh?
Like, it's all guests.
Yeah. Why am I not a guest?
You are. That's what I'm saying. Like, you would be a guest on the show, and you would do the thing.
No, because I don't get to talk about myself or anything cool or pretend to be you or anything like that.
The whole bit is that you are me. Like, that's the
Doing
bit. You're
your
gonna...
credits at the end of an episode.
Okay, I do them at the end of every single one of my episodes. What's the big deal?
You're doing it because you're trying to make money off of it and like
Yeah.
get listeners and shit. But I'm not trying to do that.
I mean, I'll like put your name in a box.
I didn't
That's
study
pretty cool.
improv in Chicago and pay as much money
here
as
we
I
go.
did to be
Yeah.
stupidly educated in improv to
Yeah.
do your credits.
Yeah. Sure. Look, it's a gig. I'm offering you a gig. Sure, you're not going to get paid. You're not going to have any attention. No one's going to even know you even did it. You won't be relevant in 5 years through it. It doesn't do anything for you.
Listen, you can't afford
but-
me. You can't afford
How much
me.
do you cost? Like what how much does it cost to do a podcast
All right.
outro?
Well, whether I'm doing my day job or my side gig, I run about $70 an hour.
$70 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, how much does it cost for 5 minutes?
$70 because everything rounds up to an hour at a minimum.
That's wild. That's too
Well,
much
when you're
money.
a consultant, that's your time, man.
Okay, but I'm not paying you to be a consultant.
You're not
I'm
paying
you
me
to
at
do an
all. That's
outro.
what I'm saying.
Okay, well, maybe you don't deserve the money. I don't know. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
well
I
then
just
do
need
your
an
own
outro.
credits.
Oh, okay.
You're
well, I
the
don't
one
want.
asking me to do your credits. It's like you're asking me to wipe your butt when you're perfectly capable.
Okay, and so what?
Wipe your own butt?
No. Look.
I don't care if it's poopy. I don't have to smell you or see you.
Okay, but here. Listen, we're going off track. Let's put the train back on the rails for a moment.
All right.
Here's the deal. I'm doing an episode that is supposed to not have me in it at all. I'm not supposed to be in any part of it. That's the whole joke. So, the listeners tune in. There's no Matt. That's the whole bit this month.
Are people
by
going to
this
get
month,
that? Like, did you tell them that at the beginning of the episode or in the
No,
last
because
episode?
I'm not on it. I can't. No, it's not gonna.
They're just gonna
not
think it's a holiday episode, and you just went on vacation and felt like doing that instead of like doing replays of old episodes.
Okay, well, first of all, like that, I should do like a holiday segment. Like, here's some old clips, like in old '90s shows where the sitcom family gets together and they talk about their funniest moments. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me make a note of that.
Yeah,
but
I'm
no,
charging
seriously,
right now for this therapy time.
What? This isn't therapy time. This is just asking a friend to do an outro. It's not a big deal.
Oh, I'm a friend when you want. This is like a business thing, and you're like calling me a friend when you want it for free. I like that. That's what I should do at work. Just be like, so this is you're my friend.
Friend to friend.
Yeah.
Just a friendly
like,
help.
Develop this application for software because you're my friend.
I think that's pretty reasonable, personally.
Yeah.
Am I being rude right now? Like, I mean, I don't.
No,
really
you're
get
not
what
being rude, but you aren't letting me say no. You know what? I'm not doing a good job at setting a boundary. I'm being like really passive about it, but what I'm saying to you is that it's possible that if I say yes, that I will let you down, and I don't want to let you down. So I'm passively asking you to let me off the hook so I don't have to let you down. I don't want to be a failure. I don't want
you to be a failure. I don't want you to be a failure either. Like, that's why I feel like doing the outro is a really great way to not be a failure. I mean, you think about it. On every single resume you ever write from here on out, you can put outro of the Matt Hawker Show under your list of things that you accomplished.
That is a good point. Point.
It's exciting.
That would be that could work. That could work.
It will work.
No, you're doing what you do. You're wrapping your little tentacles around my brain and trying to like.
Listen. You're right. I'm sorry. I'll lay off the little tentacles, as you call it. I just need 5 minutes of your time. Just, what was that? What'd you say? What'd you say about my tentacles?
What?
You said they're little? That's fine. Whatever.
You said that. I was just reiterating.
Okay. I was reiterating your iteration.
You don't No, iterations, that's my job.
That's what I know. That's what I just said. You iterated, and then I reiterated your iteration.
Okay, well, that's fine. Thank you for the user feedback on my first iteration.
No problem. Are
Otherwise-
you doing the outro or not? Just
No.
Okay,
I
let's
can't-
get the
I
boat back
can't-
in the ocean.
I can't.
Let's
I can't
get
give you
the
a hard
airplane
answer.
back in the sky.
Can I say maybe? Soft
No, it's a yes or no. Like I gotta
Maybe,
get a
soft no.
Can you just like confirm yes or no? It's so
Maybe.
easy. I don't. Is it a hard maybe or a soft maybe?
It's a soft. It's maybe. It's a hard maybe.
Okay, what's
a
the
soft
what's the
no.
texture? What's the texture?
Soft.
Soft? That's not. I feel like that's not a. Is soft a texture?
I mean, it's kind of squishy
Oh.
and a little.
So it's not happening.
This is too long.
What?
This is too long.
What's too long?
We're
My
8
tentacles?
minutes and 40 seconds into this discussion.
Okay, well, just let's keep it simple. You want to do the outro or not? Yes or no?
You want me to do the outro?